Hello there, I'm Nathalia Melo, your Unfiltered Fit BFF. Mom of two turned CEO of a fitness empire. Someone who truly understands the struggles of trying to stay fit, sane, and sexy, all while juggling work, life, and motherhood. And this is the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. Follow along wherever you're listening and join me weekly as I help busy working moms just like you simplify your fitness journey so you can lose fat, regain your confidence, and feel sexy AF. It's time to stop living in the what ifs and hiding from the cameras. It's time to regain control over your body, feel sexy naked, and wear a bikini confidently. People already see you as a super confident woman, but it's time for you to feel the same way too. Come on, let's go. Hello there, fam. Welcome to another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast. I'm Nathalia Melo, your host. And here's the question that I'm going to start today's episode with. Do all clients that work with a fitness coach, do they all succeed? And before I answer this question, I want to say that I have been thinking about an episode like this for quite some time. And I just didn't know how to create this without sounding like a bitch, basically. I'm just being honest, because that's not my intention at all with this episode. My intention, it really is to help anybody who is contemplating getting help from a fitness professional, who has watched different people on social media. And I totally understand the skepticism that everybody, I'm skeptic as shit. Like, I asked a zillion questions whenever my husband and I are discussing about something. People think that because he's the big guy, that they need to be afraid of him. But I'm the chihuahua barking and asking a lot of the questions because I am naturally skeptical. So I get it. I understand, especially in an industry like the fitness industry. And that's why I take a lot of pride in being very transparent and honest with anybody that I come across, including, just last week, I turned 3 people away because I am not going to take somebody's money when maybe I don't feel like they're ready for change. And then it's going to be unbalanced relationship because I'm going to be having to convince that person that they need the change. And I truly don't believe that it is a coach's job to convince anybody that change is necessary. And in the spirit of this transparency and honesty, I do feel like it is very important to have the conversation and to answer the question as to, do all your clients succeed? And like I said, it might piss some people off. It might enlighten others. It might make some people absolutely hate me because they're like, oh my gosh, she's such a bitch. And that's okay. But I do want to make things as transparent as possible, not just for me, but I think for the fitness industry as a whole, as far as expectation management and all of that. So, and what really triggered me to do this episode today was a conversation that I had yesterday, because the lady asked me, Nathalia, like, do all your clients succeed? And I could tell that she was waiting for me to tell her some bullshit. Oh yeah, everybody succeeds 100% guarantee in try to sell. I don't sell. My job as a coach is not to sell you anything. My job is not to convince you of anything. And it's not any coach's job to convince anybody of anything. A coach's job is to guide. The convincing needs to be done by you. You need to objectively look at your life and see if where you are right now serves you, if what you're doing right now is working. How long have you been trying to get the results that you want? Have these strategies served you long term? And once you answer these questions, you're going to be able to decide for yourself and convince yourself whether or not you need help. It's funny, whenever I get on a call with somebody, people think that I'm going to convince them of anything. I'm like, if I feel like I have to convince anybody of anything, I'll immediately end the call. Immediately. And there have been times that I try to convince the person. There have been like very few times because I was so desperate for change for that person more than they wanted the change for themselves. I could see the pain. And thinking back, there were some people that didn't move forward, and there were other people that did move forward. And when I look back at the people that did move forward, when I felt like there was some convincing on my end that needed to be done, they weren't ready. And that's why I do this more often than not. Conversation yesterday would have been like this. So, do all your clients succeed? And, I get why she asked. Especially online, you'll see a lot of before and afters, the glowing reviews, the highlight reels, which we have a lot of that. And I feel very honored and confident in our ability to change lives. But here's the truth that most coaches will not admit. Not every single client is a success story. And if you take anything from this conversation that we're having today, I want to be this. If anybody tells you that every single one of them lost all the weight that they wanted to lose in that specific time frame, 100% of them. If anybody tells you that, they are lying through their teeth, or they're generating their before and after in in ChatGPT. And this is coming from someone who's been in the industry for 16 years as a coach. I have spoken all over the world in over 30 countries to fitness professionals. And I can assure you that I am yet to meet a coach that has 100% success rate to every single one of their clients. And that's why I am recording this episode, because whenever you go on social media, you see a snapshot. You don't see the whole movie. So I think it's time to stop selling an absolute illusion that results are absolutely guaranteed, because the truth is that they are not. A coach can give you a plan, can offer you support, can offer community, can offer touch base, can adjust the plan, can personalize the plan, can come cook for you. But if you're not willing to change something, and I'm not talking about change, go from eating McDonald's every single day to eating lettuce and ice cubes 7 days a week and juicing for the other 7. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about having a little bit of a halfway meet. If you're not willing to do that, or anybody is willing to do that, you will not work. And this right here is one of the main reasons why there is an application process to join my program, the Powerhouse Academy. And by the way, I don't want this a podcast episode to be a pitch fest for the Powerhouse Academy. I'm using the Powerhouse Academy as an example, but I know many other coaches that have a similar system to acquire clients, because honorable coaches in the fitness industry, they do understand the very simple concept that you cannot help people that don't want to be helped. I'm friends with a lot of fitness professionals who I admire and respect. And all the ones that have integrity will have some kind of application process, because they know that not everybody's going to be for them. Not everybody's ready. And this is what is going to ensure that honest conversation. And I'm going to be pulling the curtain on all the things that go on behind the scenes that I feel like people don't know. And I realized that whenever I start to tell some of these stories of things that has happened with us, or from hearing stories from friends who are coaches who I trust and respect, and I know that they're doing good work, because not everybody in the fitness industry sucks. There are a lot of people that suck, but not everybody does. There are a lot of people in the industry that have good hearts. They're doing honest work, and they are not selling bullshit. So I'm going to be pulling the curtain on all the things that happen. Like, for example, I'll tell you about a client that we had that sent stock photos pretending it was her food. We're trying to help a person and trying to understand why she's not seeing the results that she wanted to see. And we're banging our head against the wall, trying to figure out and pulling all these stops on the systems that we have in place and trying to understand. And we're like, hey, send us the photos. And because I did a reverse Google search, we found out that they were all stock photos. These have been just like some of these stories, and I'm not sharing these stories to bash anybody. I am just sharing some of these stories to help people understand what also goes on the other side of being a coach, on the things that we see and why it is impossible to claim that you have 100% guarantee of success and that everybody's a success story, because that's not true. Like the other person that I was mentioning, we had someone that sent us an email saying, "Oh, you are a scam because you don't guarantee results." But this was the same person that the way that we work inside the program, we meet the person where they're at. We ask, "Hey, how much time can you commit to training? How many days a week can you train?" And the person told us, "Oh, yeah, I can totally train 5 days a week." But the program that she said that should have a guarantee, which was ours, she committed to training 5 days a week. But historically, we could see that she had worked out once a week on average. So, how can you guarantee results? And how can you have a very specific outcome when the effort or the work is not there? And I think that this is the side of coaching that are there shady coaches in the industry? 100%. But they're also very good coaches. But in order for results to become, it's a mutual relationship. It cannot be just the coach given. And it's kind of like signing up for a gym membership and never showing up and emailing the gym saying they're a scam because you didn't put on muscle. Yeah, you show up like once a week, kind of. And this is why even the most respected programs in the industry have people that, oh, it didn't work for me. So I think we need to talk about what it really takes to succeed and why commitment cannot be outsourced to your coach. Can there be accountability? 100%. Can there be a plan that is going to work for your life so you can stay consistent with it? 1,000,000%. But the commitment to self, the understanding why that change is necessary needs to come from within. And that's why I'm always talking about with anybody I get on the phone with or anybody that I talk to with my content on social media, that coaches are a guide. They're not miracle workers. Funny enough, even plastic surgeons don't guarantee 100% success. How do I know that? Because I have had plastic surgery. I've talked about it. There is a whole episode on this. And if you find a good, respectful plastic surgeon, they will not guarantee results. Why? Because you can control the human body for one. And whenever we're talking about the coaching aspect of things, you're also dealing with like the emotional and psychological side, which that's why we have a counselor to help mitigate that even more. But again, the change needs to come from within. You can have the tools, you can have the strategies, you can have the support, you can have the accountability. But if you don't do the thing, then it's not going to happen. It's interesting because I was talking about plastic surgery. I have a deviated septum. You don't know, it's like a deviated septum is in your nose. So my nose is a bit crooked. And I went to a ENT and they have been telling me for years that I need to have a surgery. And it is, somewhat big surgery. You have to go under and all of that. And I'm like, shit, like if I'm going to go under, I might as well get the deviated septum fixed and get a rhinoplasty, because a lot of times whenever you fix the deviated septum, it doesn't change outside. It still looks crooked. I was like, I have to fix this thing because it's getting progressively worse. I might as well do the whole shebang because why not? So I started looking, and I'm a researcher. So I'm like joining Facebook groups and I'm looking at all the things. And it's wild how even the most glowing, most expensive in the country, all of them, if you do a search, And you are like, oh my goodness, this is the doctor that I want to go with. He's amazing. I've seen his work. It's great. And then you look and you're going to have 100 good reviews. And then there is like three of people basically saying, oh my God, he's the worst. I'm traumatized. So even the best doctors, even the best surgeons who are charging some of these rhinoplasties can go up to, I don't know, like $60,000. And even those professionals are not guaranteeing 100% satisfaction. Why? Because you have a lot of variables. You have the human body who does whatever the fuck he wants to do. I'm using out the surgeon like as an example. They can control what is in the OR, but they cannot control what the person is doing after that. It's like the same thing whenever I got my boobs redone and the reverse tummy tuck. There were very strict guidelines that my doctor gave me on things that I should and should not be doing in order for me to have the proper and adequate recovery. And if I didn't do those things, then I would fuck shit up. Like it just is. And that's the same thing with your fitness journey. If you're not following the guidance of the expert because you just don't want to do what you want to do, then you're going to get what you've been getting. That's just how it works. And I shared some of these stories of things that have happened with me, but I actually also wanted to outsource to some of my friends because I know that some of these stories have happened with me of like the discrepancy of expectations and the expectation of like guaranteed results when the person is not willing to put in the work. But these unrealistic expectations comes from a lot of coaches who are lacking integrity saying that, oh, we have 100% success rate. They don't. So I asked a lot of the coaches who I respect, who are very successful, who have helped hundreds, if not thousands of people. And some of these stories that I heard were like completely unhinged. So we had one that a friend who is very vocal on her social media. She is very vocal on being very anti detoxes and juices, all of this kind of like bullshit stuff, even more vocal about it than I would be. And then somebody joins her program, and 3 weeks in, the person is like, oh, I'm starting like a juicing cleanse. You're reaching out to someone who stands for one thing, has a very strong belief about something. And then you're trying to do the thing that is completely against what that person stands by. And you're asking that person to support something that they are vehemently against. It doesn't make any sense. And that's why it's so important to also follow the person. Like, do you jive with that person? For example, I know that I'm someone who is very direct. So if someone is a delicate little flower, in order to receive feedback, it needs to be like, okay, and everybody's a winner and we're doing so good. And that's just so amazing. But you know what? Like we need to look at some of the things. If that's the kind of feedback that the person does better with, maybe I'm not your person and that's perfectly okay. And these are also things that I look for whenever I'm talking to someone. A lot of times, someone who likes to receive feedback like this doesn't even get to the point where we get on a call. But in the event that it does, I'll be very honest. I'm like, can you take very direct feedback? Because if you can't, it's not going to work. And even if I had a guaranteed clause, it wouldn't work because you wouldn't receive my feedback. And I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with this. Okay. I have my opinions, but it's not for me to give. But I have a friend who is like very vocal about being against their clients going to restaurants at all. It's like in the 12 weeks that you are with us, you absolutely cannot eat in restaurants. Absolutely not. And blah, blah, like always going to restaurants and creating content on the extra calories that restaurant food has and very aggressively. It's like an absolutely not. And then the person signs up with them and then they're like, oh, but I like to go to restaurants 6 days a week. I don't know what to tell you. Why are you acting surprised that the coach is telling you that they don't want you to go to restaurants if you are not willing to change the thing? You know what I'm saying? Again, from a coaching perspective for myself, do I think that you need to absolutely stop eating restaurants forever and ever? No. Do we need to kind of like maybe not go 5 times a week, maybe go twice. And then, eventually let's see if we can bring that down to once because it's easier to control your caloric. Absolutely. But it's about understanding. This is another scenario where how is it that a coach is going to be able to guarantee results and claim 100% client satisfaction and 100% client results when even if you have a very stringent process, these things still happen. All these examples that I'm giving are people that I personally know that have very tight application processes, and these things still happen. That I literally just got this message from another friend because I messaged some of the friends that I know, and I was like, hey, what's been the most like crazy story from a client, the things that you have experienced that it was like impossible to coach the person and give them the results. And then this friend just said, I remember one that a client logged her initial meals in the app just to show us she was logging in, but then ate completely different foods. Like, how are you going to be able to help someone who is lying to themselves? And that is why I'm telling you right now, anybody who claims that they have 100% success with all their clients is full of shit. I know that I'm repeating myself, but this is why I'm going to keep on repeating myself. And I'm probably going to record another podcast repeating myself because it is creating a very unrealistic expectation of reality, of what coaching really is and what it entails and what is required from the coach and the coachee. Honest and ethical coaches are going to be upfront. No, I cannot absolutely guarantee your result. No, I cannot tell you that 100% of my clients are successful. As I asked my friends to share some of these stories, it was a laundry list. I tried here to shorten it, but every single coach I know has some kind of unhinged story of people who refuse to be coachable. So how are a bunch of coaches out there guarantee 100% success when this is the very reality that happens on the behind the scenes of coaching people? And even if we look at big brands, it's funny because this morning, as I was preparing for this podcast, I started Googling and I was like, what are the most liked brands? What are the brands that are known for like amazing customer service, for amazing products all around? And then there were some, you had Chick-fil-A, you had Apple. So I went with Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A, especially in the South, I'm in Texas, it's like a fan's favorite. I started looking at Chick-fil-A and their reviews around me, and they were at like 4 out of 5 reviews. They were not an absolute 5. They were 4. So I start to check some of the reviews. Let's look at this one here. They forgot the smokehouse bacon. They gave me someone else's sandwich because he had this sandwich, and this is a 1-star review. Yet, Chick-fil-A is one of the most known brands that has amazing customer service. People rave about it. Like recently, I saw something on social media talking about Chewy, the thing for dogs that has a subscription, and then they deliver like dog food to your house and stuff like that. And somebody was talking about how if you have a subscription with them and you lose your dog, Chewy will keep the food and then they will send you flowers, like something very sweet because they cannot receive the food back and stuff like that. And if you go online, even a company that is doing this, it does not have 100% customer satisfaction. If you actually go and you Google, there are quite a few negative reviews saying that they don't care about their customers. Let me read some of them here. We have has always been good to me and always get my order. They're like so helpful. But then the same service, the same product, the same people, don't order from this company. They will cheat you out of part of your order, then refuse to replace it. Very difficult to reach. And you have all these negative reviews as well. So not even Chewy, which is a brand that everybody speaks very highly of, can guarantee 100%. In this, we're talking about the delivery of a product. This doesn't take into account the variations of the human body. So the idea that In fitness, for some reason, there needs to be like how many of your clients succeed? A bunch of them, the ones that follow the program, but most of them, the ones that communicate accordingly, I can guarantee for those, the ones that are talking with us, the ones that are being open for feedback, the ones that are acknowledging the challenges. For example, let's say that they commit to, oh, I can work out 4 days a week, but then life be lifing. And then they are no longer able to do that. And they communicate with us and we change their workouts. Then we also manage expectations. For those folks, I can 100% guarantee results. In those folks, 100% success. But that is not everybody. Because we've had people that signed up and ghosted us. I just received this from my assistant. We had someone that signed up and disappeared. Like poof, out of the face of the earth. In 4 weeks, the first 4 weeks that the person joined, that disappeared from the face of the earth, we reached out to this person 27 times in 4 weeks. Between phone calls, check-in follow-ups, make sure they were doing their check-in, make sure they were alive, emails, conversations in our app, messages from me, messages from our success coach, message from our head coach, message from our registered dietitian, 27 times. I'm going to do this math real quick here. That's an average of reaching out to someone 6.75 times per week. What else is a coach to do? Where does one go from there? Do you see what I'm saying? So we need to stop the false guarantees and look at what like success actually looks like. So who are the people who are successful? Who are the people that I, Nathalia, can guarantee the results? Because what I say is like the person that I mentioned, oh, you should have guaranteed. And I'm like, I can guarantee what we do with our time. I can guarantee and stand by our systems, our processes, our willingness to help, our passion for what we do. I can 100% guarantee that. But I cannot guarantee what the other 50% of the equation, which is the person who needs to do the work, I cannot guarantee what they do with their time. Could I put a guarantee clause there and be like, oh yeah, if you do all these things? But my opinion is maybe I'll change eventually at some point in the future. But as we stand right now, April of 2025, if you need me to guarantee what you are going to do with your time, I am not a good fit for you. Because I'm going to have to convince you why change is needed. And that's not the job of a coach. That guarantee is not going to be for me. It's going to be for you in the sense of like you having to do the work. And then it becomes a whole bunch of bullshit because behind every guarantee, there is a whole bunch of fine prints of shit that you have to do. And is that back and forth for my team, for my sanity, really worth it? As of right now, at this time, April of 2025, I don't think it is. Because somebody who's always looking for the guarantee is not serious about change. And if you're not serious, why should I be? So the traits of the most successful clients that we've had is honesty. And I'm not even talking about honesty with me. I'm talking about honesty with themselves. Because if you're absolutely not following anything, and I'm seeing on social media that you're getting white girl wasted on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you go into check-in and you're like, oh my God, I'd be 100% compliant. You're not lying to me, you're lying to yourself. So the successful people, they don't lie. They're honest with themselves. And here's the thing, a lot of times I feel like the lie's not even intentional. And that's why I think it's important to not have that convincing piece from a coach. Because I think me trying to convince you removes your agency. And when I remove your agency, it's very hard to be honest with yourself. So honesty, consistency, communication, these would be the most important traits of those who are successful. And I did a whole other podcast I can link in the show notes on who are the people that we absolutely do not work with. I think it always comes down to honesty because we cannot help what we don't see. We cannot help what we don't hear. And that comes like the communication. And that it works for anything, like any relationship. Any relationship, if you're not honest in that relationship, it is going to fall apart. And a coachee is a relationship like any other. And we need to understand that comparing your messy beginning to somebody else's middle is going to keep you stuck. So, like our successful members compare themselves to themselves, who they were yesterday. I could give you so many examples of people that have been successful by appropriately communicating, by being honest. Like there is nothing that makes my heart happy than if there is someone that the progress is not there. And I get on a call with them and I'm like, so talk to me, what's happening? And they're like, Nathalia, I don't know what's happening, but I'm really struggling to stay consistent. I appreciate the honesty. What is going on and how can we help? Because expecting to not have challenges, expecting to have it all figured out and then bottling it all up to yourself, it's probably what you have been doing up until now and it hasn't worked. So we need to have that open conversation because chances are that if you're working with someone who is experienced and knows what they're doing, they will be able to give you solutions. They'll be able to peel the layers and help understand why you're not being able to stay consistent. Is life busy right now? Would it be helpful to maybe reduce your workouts from 4 days to 3 days? At least for this season, maybe commuting to the gym is taking too much of your time. Maybe we can bring the workouts for home for right now and then bring it back to the gym whenever things become a bit more stable. But it's going to be very difficult to solve problems that we don't even know exist. And that's the characteristic of our most successful clients. And that's the thing I think that to wrap it up, the conversation, that you need to ask yourself, are you ready to show up? Are you ready for change? Are you tired of another summer, another new year, another family photo that you haven't taken, another vacation that you are dreading because it's in a tropical destination and you're dreading putting a swimming suit on or putting shorts on? I don't think that any coach needs to convince you. You have the facts in front of yourself on how your life has been impacted in a negative way by not doing anything to change. And if that set of circumstances doesn't convince you, then stay the same. But we need to have that honesty. You have to ask yourself, are you ready to show up? Are you ready to meet a strategy or someone who is going to help you meet those things at least halfway? And I'm going to put a parenthesis here. Yeah, there are programs that can give you like cheetah fast results. Yes. But then you're going to be having the exact same conversation after that. So that's another question that you have to ask yourself. Do I want quick results or do I want results that will last? Because they're not the same. Both of these things are going to require different strategies. And that's another thing that I talk to everybody that approaches us. Are you looking for fast or are you looking for lasting? Because these things are not the same thing. These strategies used. Another story is someone who is now an amazing member of ours. Love her. But that's another conversation that I had with her. Whenever I spoke with her, she's like, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, we are not going to do that. Do I know how to help lose 50 pounds in 3 months? Sure. That's not a quote unquote, a hard process. But is that going to serve you? Because then we're going to be having the exact same conversation 3 months after the 3 months. And then what? You just built more resentment. You just built more frustration. So this is the question that you have to ask yourself as well. Am I ready to show up? Am I ready to do the thing or the things that are going to take me from A to B in a manner that is aligned with the ultimate outcome that I want? Are you ready to be coached Or do you just want the illusion of progress? Or do you just want to have someone to blame yet again for not succeeding? And I am going to make another caveat. I do understand that there are coaches in the fitness industry that absolutely suck. And I know how frustrating it is. And that's why I wanted to create this episode for you to be able to spot some of the things. If it is 100% guarantee, that's bullshit. All my clients succeed 100% of them. That's bullshit. Because if they are trying to tell you that 100% of them succeed, very much full of shit, or at worst, they're starving people for a short period of time. And I don't even think that that would guarantee results. So really ask yourself, am I ready to take ownership of my future, of my health, of my quality of life? Because all the ways in which your life is being impacted right now by not being where you want to be, that's the convincing. It is not you getting on the phone and speaking to someone trying to beg you to be part of their program. Anybody that has to kind of like beg you, that's not your person. The wish needs to come from within you by looking around yourself and asking yourself, am I living my best life? Am I showing up as the best version of myself for the people around me? Am I ready to be honest with myself and get rid of my own bullshit and truly take action in a way that is aligned with my ultimate goal? These are the difficult questions that you need to be asking yourself. But the more you keep on chasing the 100% guarantee, 100% of my clients get results, anything that comes to the human body that is given to you in absolutes, those people are lying. And you're probably stuck right now because you keep on falling for the same crap over and over again. So at what point does it change? That is a question for you to ask yourself and for you to think about it, and not for me to answer for you. But I wanted to offer you the other side of the coin, the things that we do see as a coach, not just from my own personal experience, but also I brought experience from other coaches that I trust, know their work and know they're legit and know that they give a shit about their people. So you can see how difficult it truly is to give 100% guarantee. It's kind of like if you're an attorney, you can't guarantee a client that like, oh yeah, 100% we're going to win. Pretty sure that you know that any attorney that says 100% guarantee, they're lying through their teeth. They're just out for a money grab. Any doctor that guarantee, oh yeah, 100% guarantee, full of shit. And it's the same thing in the coaching space. So stay alert, friends. If you'd like to learn more about the Powerhouse Academy, we have a link down in the descriptions. But I want to make it very clear. I didn't make this podcast with the objective or goal of like, quote, selling the Powerhouse. That is not my goal. My goal is for you to make educated decisions and get out of the hamster wheel and take ownership over your progress, the results that you want, because ultimately it is your body. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week. By the way, don't forget to leave your reviews, okay? Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. But let me ask you, what was your aha moment in today's episode? I would love to know. You can leave me a comment at the link in the show description. You can also follow me on social media, Instagram. Links are down below as well. And let me know what topics you want to hear more about or who I should have on the show. This is it for today, guys. I'll see you back next week for another episode of the Unfiltered Fit Life podcast.